Well, the accident itself, January 28th, this year, 2012, I was leaving work at the time. I was working in the nightclub industry. And regular good night, you know, everybody had a good time or what have you. You make money, it's always a good night. And I carpooled with a friend of mine. We rode together because we lived in the same part of town. And we went out to his car. I was in the passenger seat. He was driving, of course. We get maybe 2 blocks from the club that I work at, going towards the interstate. And a young lady runs a stop sign coming from the right. And it happened obviously pretty quickly. So my homeboy Tony didn't have a chance to stop, you know, really swerve anything, you know, so we made impact. The front of his vehicle hit her car on the driver's side rear quarter panel around where the tire is. And wasn't a terribly bad accident at all. His car was actually still drivable. Her car would have been drivable except where it hit the wheel. There was some wheel damage, so she was completely okay. Tony was okay. Our airbags did deploy. He had his arms up on the steering wheel, so it kind of blocked the airbag. I had on my seat belt, sitting properly, doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, but I still was, I guess, lurched far enough forward where the airbag could hit me in the face. And when the airbag hit me in the face, I thought, you know, much like, you know, other accidents I've been in, you know, it's not a big deal. I'm kind of leaning forward in the seat, and I got my hands up to my face. And one of my other coworkers was following us because she goes the same way to get to the interstate. So my homeboy Tony hops out of the car. He thinks the girl is trying to pull off to cause the accident, so he's chasing her. And then Denise, who is our friend from work, my coworker, comes up to my side of the car. She says, "Julian, are you okay?" And you know, I told her, I don't think I can see. So she said, "Lean back, let me look at your face." So I leaned back in the seat and I pulled my hands down. And you know, women are, she couldn't even respond. She didn't, all she said was, "Let me go get Tony." So she runs off to get Tony. I lean back forward and put my hands back to my face, and Tony comes back maybe about 20 seconds later. And Tony's like, "Jul, what's going on?" I said, "Man, I don't think I can see." And he said, "Man, lean back, let me look at you." So I leaned back, I pulled my hands down, and unlike Denise, Tony's immediate response was, "Damn." And he's a real honest, straightforward kind of dude, so he immediately starts describing. He said, "Man, you're bleeding from both eyes. Your right eye's popped out a little bit. Your face is scarred up, and it looks like your nose is a little crooked." Well, I was in a bed, hospital bed, Vanderbilt Hospital, and I knew when I woke up that either something was covering my eyes or I couldn't see. So I kind of laid there for a moment. I was trying to listen to who was in the room, and my fiancée Tiffany was sitting beside me. I could hear my mother, and I had an aunt that was in town. I could hear them in the room, and then 3 of my friends, Michael Overton, Willie Mosley, Willie Shea, and Antonio Huey, they were in the room. So I heard everybody talking, and I was kind of quiet. Didn't want them to know I was awake. I was trying to listen to hear what was going on with me so I didn't have to ask. But they were all talking about other stuff. So finally, I let everybody know I was awake. And, you know, my immediate question was, you know, am I blind? And my mother was the one that spoke up after about 15 seconds of silence. She spoke up and she said, "Well, the doctors actually said your right eye is damaged irreparably, so they don't believe you'll ever see again from your right eye. But your left eye was not damaged that severely, so they believe that there's a good possibility that you may regain some vision in your left eye." I regained some sight. I had a surgery that actually took the sight back from me, and this was just in May 2nd to be exact. So I had regained a little bit of sight in my left eye, and then that surgery took that sight back away. So in terms of being completely blind, I'm 4 months in. one of the things that kind of brought me out of it was actually, you know, my children. One of my sons, the 4-year-old, he would, once I went completely blind, because he had gotten used to me being able to see a little bit, helping him with his clothes and whatnot. And when I came back home from the hospital that time and I couldn't see at all, his first question was, you know, Daddy, are your eyes gonna get better? When are your eyes gonna get better? And I didn't really know what to tell him. I was so miserable. My only answer was, you know, it's just gonna take some time, but Daddy will be all right. And he must have asked me that every day for about a week and a half. And my answer was always the same. It's just gonna take some time, but Daddy will be all right. And then one night, I decided in the middle of the night, you know, I didn't want to wake anybody up. I didn't want anybody to help me get to the kitchen. So I walked down the steps myself, and there was a shoe or a toy or something, maybe 2 or 3 steps up from the bottom. Stepped on the shoe and fell down the steps. And I'm at the bottom of the steps, and I fell forward, so I was kind of on my knees. And I had a small meltdown, a breakdown, I guess you would say. So I was basically about in tears, and you know, I felt my son's hand on my shoulder, and I felt him try to grab my hand to help me up. And then he said, funny, it's just gonna take some time, Daddy, but you'll be all right. You know, this is the difficulty that I'm faced with, and my choices are to allow that difficulty to control my next move, or now I can make a move in this difficulty. I think that's where it kind of helps you begin to regain some power, you know, and once you regain some power, you don't feel helpless anymore. You don't feel incapable anymore. So it's the people that are around me that have inspired me to change my mode of thinking, and that have, again, you know, I mentioned earlier, they've shown me I still have some purpose. I still have a service that I'm capable of doing, and it just makes you want to continue to pursue that.